Good afternoon, all. Thank you very much for waiting this afternoon. It's good to see everybody. Um, Let me begin by thanking our Dutch host for their gracious hospitality and for Secretary Root for his leadership at this moment of global consequence. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate all you're doing for the NATO alliance, and it was a pleasure to meet with you earlier this morning uh, to go over the goals of what you have planned and what the rest of the NATO allies want to accomplish in this next year. We gather here as allies, not only in defense of each other's borders, but in defense of the world that we work together to build. A world where nations choose their own path, where sovereignty is respected, and where peace is preserved, not by fear, but by unity. That world is being tested right now on the front lines of Europe, in Ukraine. For more than 3 years, the Ukrainian people have faced a brutal, unprovoked war. They have endured bombings, power outages, the destruction of entire towns and cities. And yet, and yet, they have not yielded. They have not given in, and they have not surrendered their freedom because they believe in the same principles we do. Freedom is not granted by invaders, it is defended by patriots. Today, the United States stands once again with those patriots. This afternoon, I'm announcing a new $2.5 billion military assistance package to Ukraine. It includes Patriot missile systems and interceptors, HIMARS rockets and precision artillery, Bradley and Stryker fighting vehicles, javelins, drones, and critical battlefield defenses, and funding for training and battlefield support. This is not symbolic, it is practical, it is strategic, and it is necessary. Because if Putin can redraw borders by force without consequence, he won't stop at Ukraine. Let me say this plainly: Ukraine will not stand alone. Let me say that again. And I've said it for 3 years. Ukraine will not stand alone. Not on my watch. And not with this alliance standing together. I think you've seen that over the course of the last day, that every one of the NATO partners, every member of this alliance stands with Ukraine. Since this war began, NATO has only grown stronger. 2 years ago, some questioned whether we remain united, and there were true questions about that. Now Sweden and Finland sit at this table. Defense spending is up across the alliance, and NATO is more prepared, more capable, and more determined than ever. To President Zelensky and to the people of Ukraine watching today, the free world hears you. The free world stands with you, and America stands with you. We will continue to provide what you need, not just to survive, but to win. History will remember this summit, not for what we said, but for what we did. We stood for democracy. We stood against tyranny. We stood together. NATO stood firm. America stood tall. And Ukraine stood free. And I just want to say that, and this goes without saying, Mr. President, you have, at least under my administration, you have the backing of this administration and of the United States. I've said this often. Think about the number of democracies that are in this world. There's a handful, 53, 54 democracies. And I don't care what's going on in this country. Yes, there's some division. Yes, there's some polarization. But people across the world are looking at this country as that shining example of democracy. President Reagan often referred to it as that shining city on the hill. I firmly believe that the United States of America is that shining city on the hill for all the world to see, and for emerging democracies such as Ukraine, such as other countries throughout the world. The United States and NATO will stand with them. So again, thank you very much. It was good to meet with you today here at the summit, and looking forward to many more meetings and a continued free Ukraine, and hopefully one day an end to all the hostilities that you're experiencing, sir. Again, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.